Velma has become the worst rated animated show ever, and it's pretty well deserved. The show just isn't good. There are some interesting aspects to it. The actual mystery element is pretty intriguing. Who's stealing people's brains? And why? Is the government still involved? There are a few theories of who the killer could be. The first one being Dinkley, Velma's mother, who has been missing for about 2 years. She currently has amnesia, which is very convenient, and only showed up in the story at a pretty opportune time. Fred had been trapped in a bunker for 2 days, and she was nowhere to be seen at all until the cave starts collapsing, and she shows up just in time to save the day. It's all very suspicious. I wouldn't be surprised if she's also a victim of the Scooby program. Maybe her brain hasn't been completely replaced by somebody else's, but maybe she had her memory erased, or maybe she is the killer but isn't aware of it because she blacks out due to some kind of hypnosis or something. They did say the military was originally trying to use hypnosis to control people. Either way, it's probably a safe bet to put her as the number one suspect. Another suspect is Fred's father. This show makes it pretty obvious how they feel about rich white men, or just white men in general, but there are aspects to his character that make him suspicious, beyond just his race. Fred states the reason why they bought their house was because they wanted to commit insurance fraud by burning it down and then collecting the money, but for some reason when they were going to commit the arson, Fred's dad didn't show up, so they ended up living in the house instead. So he must have figured out that the house was worth more than the insurance money. The house was originally owned by Shaggy's family. His grandmother, Dr. Edna Perdue, had a lab in the basement where she conducted her experiments for the Scooby program. Eventually, her experiments took too much of a toll on her mind, so she had herself committed to a mental institution and bricked up her lab, which Velma's mother eventually uncovered. But when Fred and Velma go into the basement, it looks like the entrance has been bricked up again, but it's actually just a facade, and there's no mortar holding the bricks together. Since Mr. Jones owns the house, he would have easy access to the basement, and Fred admitted that he's too scared to go down there usually, so he would probably have the place to himself, unless his wife knows something about it, which could be a possibility, but there's no evidence so far to suggest that. It might seem odd that he would kidnap his own son, but it's pretty obvious that his parents are abusive. Fred mentions that his father puts his cigars out on him, and they're constantly saying how much of a disappointment and embarrassment he is, so maybe he wants to switch Fred's brain with someone else's, maybe even his own. That way he could continue running his company. I feel like if it isn't Velma's mom, then it has to be Fred's dad. My third suspect is Norval's mom. She's the daughter of Dr. Perdue, so maybe she wants to further her mother's research, or complete her work or something. The thing is, we don't have any proof that she has this medical knowledge. She's the principal of the school and not a doctor, and in flashbacks it doesn't show her getting involved in her mom's experiments, and is more of a passive observer, so I'm not sure how likely this one is, but maybe she just hates her students? She's definitely lower on my list of suspects, but I thought I'd bring it up anyway. Maybe it's a conspiracy and they're all in on it. My next suspect is more of a crackpot theory, but I wanted to throw in Olive, the blonde girl. Her motivation could be that she wants to be the hottest girl in school by killing all of her competition. Also in the first episode, Velma gives herself a hot girl makeover to try to get everyone to believe that she's not the murderer, since she was initially the main suspect. And this works on everybody except Olive, who openly accuses her, and maybe there's a reason for that because she knows who the killer is and it's her. Obviously the main flaw in this logic here is that she's a 15-year-old girl, so she probably doesn't have the medical knowledge to remove people's brains. But I thought I'd throw it in there anyway, just for fun. My fifth suspect is it really is the ghost of Dr. Edna Perdue. There's a scene where Velma is hanging out with her dad, and the two of them are fishing, and they fish up this diver ghost. It ends up basically being a throwaway gag, where they don't mention or acknowledge it afterwards. This could imply that ghosts exist in this world, although Velma does vehemently deny their existence, despite her fishing this guy up. So what does she know? This ghost might just be a reference to the ghost diver from the original series, but it doesn't seem to be just a background thing, they interact with it. So maybe a possibility. The last thing I want to discuss is that the killer might be someone that we have not been introduced to yet. Maybe the government is continuing Perdue's research. I personally think this season is going to end on a cliffhanger, or at least there's going to be a lot of unanswered questions. It feels like they were expecting to get a season 2. This season is only 10 episodes long, and they waste a lot of that screen time. They did announce early in the first season that there was going to be a second season, but it's most likely that they ordered 20 episodes to begin with and then split them in 2, and that's why it didn't feel like we were at the halfway point at episode 5, and things are only starting to pick up now at the end of this season. This would technically be the midway point, so I'm not sure how much we're actually going to get out of this finale. We'll have to see, but so far my list of most likely suspects are Velma's mom, followed by Fred's dad, and then probably someone we don't know, or someone related to the government in some way. The the ghost of Dr. Edna Perdue, Norval's mom, and then Olive. Who do you think the culprit is? Do you think someone's going to get their brain put in a dog, and then that dog is named Scooby? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was different from my normal content, but I thought we could take a break and speculate a bit. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to our members: Stutania, Tyrant Carnivore, Adam K, Shiny Orc Boy, The Rabbit Mancer, General Bolivar, Depth Charge Media, Samaru163, Gabby Hime, Verdant Range, JVR, Hussyman42, Nixel, Eric Griffin, Bill C, Taylor Ramirez, Caleb Nelson, Bandito Bane, Dakari the Professor, Equestron, Norman Sweetcream, Way Beyond Coincidence, Garcia XV Legend, Hunter Rose, Dash Hound, 80s Nostalgia Guy, Lil, Miranda Sinistra, Butcher7 Actual, Kitsune Fiora, Felix Spam, and Soundboy00. Thank you all so much for your support, and if you'd like to support the channel as a member, you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this content, you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, and that part's free. We also have Buy Me Coffee if you want to support us that way. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.